Looks like I've got a few sig stones here that I should use. Who should I use these signature stones on? Let's find out. Hey! Okay, so as you can see there, I have a decent amount of 7-star signature stones. I've been saving them for a little while because I was planning on making this video, and I figured I would just make a little video talking about who I was going to give them to for my account. I talked to some people on streams, and some people expressed interest in that. I figured here we are, let's take these signature stones and give them to some champions and get them a little bit sigged up and improve my prestige a little bit, improve the functionality of some of my champions. Because as I see it, champions fall into 3 basic categories when talking about who to give your sig stones to. You either have a champion who is good for your prestige, which realistically speaking, I don't think most people in the game should care about too much. Only people who are in high ranked alliances that do alliance quest at a high level, always do map 8, always do raids, and always have their members pushing for that prestige, trying to get those top ranks, are going to be the ones who really care about just ranking a champion for prestige. So I think that for the most part, most people can rule that out, but we will talk about that a little bit. I think that the next category of champions are ones who benefit dramatically from their signature ability and the sig level being raised, right? So there's some champions who might benefit on offense, there's some champions who might benefit on defense, and then there's champions who might just benefit in both categories, like all around, give them more utility, that kind of stuff. So that's the second category, I would say, of champion. And then the third category for me would be champions who get better because you're increasing their sig level, and then also have good prestige, because some of those champions exist too. So if you kind of want to look at those kind of things in combination, that's the sweet spot. That's the best champions for me, are the ones that improve prestige, but then really improve how the character is played or how often you play the character. And we'll go over some of those examples here in just a minute. So starting with the first category, prestige, we can look currently at where my alliance places in Alliance Quest. So starting with champions who you want to get ranked up for prestige, I thought we just talked about this kind of leaderboard here. This is the past leaderboard of last week's Alliance Quest, but I forgot this is going to be messed up because at the time I'm filming this, my alliance the raids got canceled, and it just standard kabam. I don't know, some things happen sometimes, and so yeah. But you can see, generally speaking, there are certain alliances that are here at the top and are always going to be at the top for prestige for their Alliance Quest, and prestige is what affects your ranking for Alliance Quest. As you can see, my overall alliance prestige is 24,827 for the average for our members, and that is why we want any new recruits to have at least 2,400 prestige, right? So we don't dramatically drop down, because prestige does affect how you get rewards for doing Alliance Quest. The higher your prestige, the more points you get when you do the maps and you complete them, and then the higher your ranked rewards, that kind of stuff. And you still get pretty decent rewards for doing Alliance Quest overall. It's not my favorite game mode. I don't think it's anybody's favorite game mode, but you still get pretty good rewards. So it makes sense for those alliances at the very top, like I said, to keep pushing for that prestige, to stay up there. These are all alliances where a lot of people very often will spend a bunch of money on the game to make sure they have prestige champions ranked up. I think we can mostly throw that away. But that said, let's go and look at my current prestige and see where I'm at. We're gonna go over to Aunt May, of course, being a very helpful website, and take a look at what my current champions are in my prestige. My current prestige right there, 23,667.8. That is not including the relic prestige. That's why, that's not on here. But my top champions being Omega Red, Domino, Photon, Shuri, and then I believe Kindred down here. You can see it's kind of highlighted which ones are actually your top 5. And then I have my other champions who are Awakened and rank 3 at 7 stars, just in here, just in case I decide to sig any of them up. So, talking about champions who both benefit from their signature level and also have prestige, we're looking at one today like, say, Prowler here. Prowler if we look at the prestige list overall, we have Onslaught up there at the top, Silver Surfer still doing stuff. This is for rank 3. This will change, of course, going forward for rank 4 and rank 5. But we see Photon right here. She is 7 and Prowler is 9. I have 2 of those champions already ranked up. Onslaught as well. So those are champions to definitely consider. Kindred as well. In terms of, do they then also benefit from what their actual signature level is doing for them? So let's go take a look at that. All right, so if we look at Photon's signature ability, which we could have also looked at on Aunt May, I guess. You know what? I'm gonna do that. So let's look at a champion like Photon right here and see what her signature ability does. The signature ability, the full spectrum. Photon's improved control over the electromagnetic spectrum grants her immunity to all neutralized effects. Sweet, that's a base level. Only needs Sig 1 for that. For every debuff on the opponent, their block efficiency is reduced by 300 to 900, and Photon's is increased by half as much. That's a pretty big deal for Photon in Battlegrounds, which is generally, you guys know, the area that I care about the most. She gets more damage, basically, into block, which is a really big thing, the higher her signature level scales. She also, on attack, will do more damage that way, too, if you're hitting into the opponent's block, so it's a very good thing. Photon has a 15 to 65% chance to inflict one of her personal energy vulnerability debuffs on the opponent when struck by blocking a light attack. So, the higher your Sig level goes, the more chance she has to inflict one of her personal energy vulnerability debuffs. That's a good thing. That means that she's going to do more damage in general, both on offense and defense. So she's one of those champions who is going to benefit from her Sig on both offense and defense quite heavily, and she also is a champion who's really good for prestige. She falls into that third category that I was talking about, the best category for me. So, as far as champions who I'm going to feed my Sig Stones into as a science champion, I think Photon is who it's going to be. We can take a look and see my other 7-star champions and who might be good to feed some Sig Stones into. And of course, we have champions like Void. Spot really benefits from, his Awakened ability and being sigged up. So does Overseer. Lots of these champions do. We have Thing. I think there is one of the biggest ones that I'm looking at because we are going to get him from a calendar here soon, and so I will be able to awaken him. So I would kind of like to save some Sig Stones for him. But overall, I think that Photon benefits enough from her signature ability, and she has that good prestige, that I'm going to go ahead and just give her all of my science Sig Stones right now and just make her that little bit much better. So yeah, boom, Photon, there you go. She is at an odd level there, 53, but I don't really have 7 stars coming in so quickly that, I'd have to pull her 7 more times for it to be like a waste that she wasn't quite max Sig, So there's no worry on that front. She's not close enough to Sig 200 to have that worry. And 7-star Sig Stones are still not coming in fast enough to have to, make that decision right now. But yeah, so we'll rank her up a little bit. It would be nice to get her to an even amount with the generics, but I have a different purpose for those a little later on. So let's take a look at another champion in my deck here and take a look at Prowler. Prowler, again, signature ability. While Prowler has at least 30 Furies active, his special attacks are passively unblockable. Sweet, base level, just get him awakened one time. And then while the opponent is faltered, Prowler gains a bunch of crit rating. Prowler does all of his crit rating, through not actually doing critical hits, but he lands ruptures instead of doing those critical hits. And then those do a ton of damage. As you can see, this starts out not too exciting. It really doesn't start to really take off here up until the higher Sig levels. I would say like 135, you can see maybe 120, we really start to take off somewhere in that level. But in this case, Prowler does have really good prestige. It really increases damage quite a lot. And I have these Saga Sig Stones, which I'm slightly blocking there. But I have 80 of these Saga Sig Stones for 7-star champions. And you can see the champions they're useful on here. There are a lot of champions who I would like to get ranked up. Shuri is in my prestige already, but Shuri's ability doesn't do a whole lot. The Vox would be a good one. Spot, again, a good one, but I don't have these champions at rank 3. all sorts of different other champions here who you could use these Sig Stones for. But I've been really enjoying the Prowler lately. Prowler has really good prestige. And I'm just going to give him all of the darn Sig Stones here. Let's go Prowler. Sig 100. Okay. So that's where it's going to start to make some difference, but not make all the difference in the world. I do have 13 more tech ones. We're going to go ahead and give him those as well. So another kind of odd amount. Very unlikely I would pull him enough times for it to be an issue. So not that big a deal. So then I have some choices to make in other classes here. Those two are probably my easiest ones. One of my hardest ones, I think, is Mutant. And the reason being, we have a couple of different options here who I've already put some Sig Stones into. I've already put Sig Stones into Omega Red, and I've already put Sig Stones into Domino. Omega Red, you obviously want him to be max Sig for the most damage that he can do. However, his prestige sucks. It's not good. So he fits into that second category, but not that third category of a champion with a great ability and a good prestige. Domino also fits into that category where she doesn't really have very good prestige and does benefit quite a lot from her signature ability. Does tons more damage, especially on defense if you get her sigged up. Then we have Onslaught over here, who both benefits quite a lot and has the best prestige in the game. So he would fit into that third category. However, I think this is going to be the rare situation where I give it to one of those champions in the middle ground, because in that second category, because they're just so good. So I'm going to go between Omega Red here and Domino. I had planned on giving everything to Omega Red. That's why he's Sig 141. But he does so much damage where he's already at, and I don't really use him a ton in Battlegrounds. I use him for questing, and when I use him for questing, he does fights in a couple of seconds, even up to, like, say, I don't know, even really through Thronebreaker, you don't really have to pay attention to the nodes or anything like that. With the Omega Red questing team that I run, basically, he runs through his fights oftentimes in just a few seconds. Like Cavalier level, he's doing them in 12 seconds. I'd have to look again for Thronebreaker. It depends a little bit on what the nodes are, right? But he's doing fights like so quickly that it just doesn't matter. I would love to get him sigged up, but I just don't think that he's the one I'm going to give him to right now. So I think it has to be my girl Domino. I think I just have to make her the nastiest defender I possibly can. And this doesn't make her, so this will take her to Sig 126. I also have these generic Sig Stones, the generic being the most valuable you have. And in thinking about who I want to give them to, I kind of want to give them to Prowler just to do the more damage. But honestly, Domino, she's such a pain on defense. And she's a pain on defense in virtually every single meta. So I think I'm going to go for Domino being my first Sig 200 champion. I don't have quite the Sig Stones to get her there, but I can get her to Sig 180. So if I pull her again, she'll be at Sig 200. So yeah, let's give those to Domino. Just be nasty and mean on defense. How many more of these do I have? I have 11. So actually, I can get Prowler to, let's take Prowler to Sig 120. So we're at a nice even amount there for him too. I wouldn't necessarily suggest splitting your Sig Stones all the time, but Domino is that one Sig level away. So when I get the next generic ones, I could get her to 200 probably if I had enough, but if I just save and had get a 9, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine in this case. So yeah, Prowler at Sig 120 as well. And then we're looking pretty good there on those champions. I still have some to choose from in the Mystic class as well. And if I wanted to rank someone like Wiccan up, I could do that. He could go to rank 3. I'm going to be taking another Mystic champion to rank 3 pretty soon here. I don't really think I want to take him up though. Of these other champions, some of them do benefit from their signature abilities, but let's take a look real quick and see what Kindred's is. So Kindred here, once again, We see that when Kindred is awakened upon activating this ability, the Nightmare's Resurrection, activate Dread Aura at no power cost. If at above 30 infestation charges, inflict Nightmare Outbreak. Up to 40 to 80% degeneration potency based on missing health. That's pretty big for a defender. Once per fight at 5% health, inflict a root passive for a certain amount of time too. So his root goes up as well when you're trying to kill him. Both these things make him a tougher defender. And like we said, Kindred falls into that third category of being a good prestige champion. So I think I'm going to go ahead and give these Mystic Sig Stones to Kindred. There's not really anybody else right now that I want to get ranked up, or sigged up rather. So we're gonna give those to Kindred. Then we have Cosmic. I unfortunately don't have any Cosmic champions awakened at rank 3, just Venom. God, I really want that Venom dupe. It's gonna come through at some point, but I'm not gonna give any of these Sig Stones to a rank 2 champion. I don't think there's really any point. Some champions like the Vox and so forth would get more damage, and I do want that. If I decide to take Vox to rank 3, I might give the Vox those Sig Stones. Not there yet. So yeah, as far as my other category goes here, the skill class, I'm not sure what I want to do. But if we go back and we look again at my prestige, Black Cat and Mole Man both are not in my prestige. And giving them 20 SIGs, as you can see, is not going to put them into my prestige. And that's all of the signature stones I have left. Anyways, for the skill class is about 20. It was like 19 or something like that. So I don't think there's any reason to sig them up, which means that my prestige now is going to be what? Let's take a look at what it is now. So we were 50 for Kindred, and Shuri stayed the same. Photon, what did we get her to? Is it like Sig 53, I think? Yeah, Sig 53. Domino, we took to Sig 180, and then Prowler we took to Sig 120, meaning my prestige now 24,559.6. If we go ahead and we take a look in game, my prestige is now almost up over 2,600 combined with the relic and my champion prestige. And it looks like Prowler got bumped up to my top champion, which is cool. This is my view, right? It'll look slightly different to if you're looking at my profile. Your profile always looks slightly different if you're looking at it yourself versus someone else looking at it. But yeah, I like how things are looking there, and I've been meaning to do this for a while. This will make a couple of my champions a little better in Battlegrounds, and we always want that bump. So that'll be pretty much it for the video. If you guys want me to make a more detailed video about signature stones, I've never really made any tier lists, but I could make a tier list kind of video for who I think the best champions to give 7-star signature stones are. And so if that would be something you guys would find interesting or worthwhile, I could go ahead and make that video. So just let me know down in the comments below if that's something you're interested in. I could make a spreadsheet and make a tier list. I've never done one of those, but that'd be maybe kind of fun to do. So if you want more advice about signature stones, something that's not just for what I was doing with my account, but what I think you should do maybe with yours or champions in general, so let me know that kind of stuff down in the comments. If this did seem interesting to you and it helped you out at all or any of that kind of stuff, then go ahead and drop a like, please, and make sure you're subscribed. And here, I will pay the Zoe dog tax at the very end of the video, because she's been sitting here while she's lying there and she's being very well behaved, and we'll give her a little more treat. There you go. Good pup. Zoe, of course, cares quite a lot about prestige. She's a prestige dog, obviously. So yeah, that'll do it for this video, guys, though. And like I said, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.